Yango Ads presents.
Hello, this is Yango Ads Growth Chats, our new video series covering various aspects of the AdTech sphere. I'm Maria, Head of Business Development at App Monetization.
My name is Manfred, Director of Advertising Sales in Europe and the US.
And today we wanted to talk about different opportunities for US app publishers as we've just returned from MAU Vegas.
Let's go.
So Manfred, what are some of your impressions from MAU Vegas from talking to the US publishers?
It was great to be there. Vegas is always fun. Yeah, I was quite surprised how international it was at the same time, but obviously everyone is very much interested in the American market.
Yeah.
Being generated there, more than 200 billion US dollars spent. And obviously MAU is mega relevant. More than 60% of the spend is happening on the mobile sphere.
That's right.
So it was amazing to meet all of these guys and talk with them about obviously the US market, but also talking with them a little bit about the markets outside of the US. And it was mega interesting to talk with them particularly about their plans in the emerging markets.
That's right.
What was your take?
I was very excited to be there. It was my first time at MAU, but very exciting to speak with publishers, know about their pain points and just the way that they think towards the future.
Yeah.
I was very excited to see a lot of women in the AdTech sphere, and it looks like it's a growing trend. And obviously it was like a very cute thing that they built a puppy park right in the middle. It was just like a pick-me-up during the day between all the meetings. It was very cute.
That was very cute indeed, and that was a very good break, right, from all the talks that we had there.
100%.
Yes.
Very unexpected too, but super nice in the end, yeah.
So what about you, Maria? What stood out for you at MAU in Vegas?
So I thought it was very interesting how health and fitness apps are growing in the US market, and they're supposed to top $6 billion in revenue in this year alone. And I thought it was peculiar and very wise on the part of app publishers to keep their options open in terms of service providers. So even though a lot of them still rely on a single one that they trust already, they're still, sort of shopping around and keeping their mind open in terms of talking to different service providers just like us and seeing what the benefits are, which is very, it's a wise move to make.
I mean, it makes perfect sense, right? When you're having a global paid media strategy, it also means not only localization in terms of text, not only localization in terms of your creatives or your ads, but also working with local partners that can provide you with what you exactly need in order to make sure that you're hitting that ROAS and that you are basically engaging with the audience that you want to have.
100%. And I think one size fits all is out the way already.
Yeah.
So it's a very customized approach for each publisher. And obviously their needs and their, the things that they work with are so vastly different that you gotta be very specific, tailoring your approach to every single one.
Yeah, fully agreed. The one point what I've realized when talking with all of those publishers, especially in the gaming industry, is they were very concerned about the growing prices. They were very concerned about the declining ROAS that they are having. And obviously, it is very much the case in the saturated market. So they were mentioning for them, like Tier 1, US market, Germany, France, UK, but also Japan, how increasingly difficult it is for them to actually scale those markets. But when talking about the emerging markets, I realized that many of them have not really touched it or didn't really understand how they can use the full potential there. So this was mega interesting.
Big money.
Maria, tell me, how has app monetization evolved in the last 2 years from your point of view?
It looks like hybrid app monetization is a must, with over 60% of app publishers leveraging both in-app purchases and ads inside the apps. And it looks like that tendency is going to increase even still. Also, a lot of publishers leverage AI for real-time decision-making on whether or not the user will be looking at ads or it's better to offer an in-app purchase right now.
I can also see that in user acquisition right now. I mean, majority of the big players are using AI already. Business intelligence, of course, making sense of all the data. Predictive modeling, I mean, that is right now also mainly used via AI. And then, of course, when it comes to all the creatives, I mean, the big players in the market, they're using more than 1,000 creatives each month. And I'm not only talking about static images, but also all in audiovisuals and videos. AI is really playing a big role in kind of transforming that and automating the whole processes for those big app guys.
100%. And you said something about predictive modeling that really strikes a chord. We leverage predictive modeling inside our mediation solution because that's the best way to combine both waterfall and open bidding in app to make sure that there's no stone left unturned in terms of revenue potential.
You just mentioned mediation. Tell me a little bit more about it. I mean, it's a buzzword that I hear all the time right now, so I'm mega curious to learn more about that.
Mediation is a must right now because of the fragmented demand sources globally. There's no one single ad network that has all the demand in the globe. So you have to combine different sources that are prevalent in different regions, global ones as well as very local ones and regional ones, and putting them to compete against each other through advanced mediation technology, which luckily we do boast. You said something about emerging markets. This is really important, I think, for app publishers in the US and globally. Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, you might have guessed. What is the biggest market right now for app installs in the world?
India.
India it is,
There you go.
yes. And obviously they keep on growing, right? I mean, they were growing 20% last year, and they are going to continue to grow, and therefore, obviously, they are also shaping the market. However, let's talk about a monetization perspective. Obviously, the average return per user in India is not the same as in the US or in tier one markets like Japan, Germany, France, UK, and so on. So we're talking about 20 cents, 20 US dollar cents in India in comparison to more than $9 in the US. That obviously also plays a very big role when it's coming to scaling those markets for the players. And the market is growing actually. Also here in terms of digital ad spend, the market has reached almost 15 billion US dollars. And that is also showing the opportunity in the market and everything around it. I mean, when we think about CIS, also where we are active in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and so on, the markets are growing. And actually, the average return per user is increasing, as a matter of fact. So just to put it in context, in Russia, there was already 250 million US dollars spent in app purchases. So yeah,
That's
we see this trend really continuing.
And it's good to have service providers that can encompass various techniques when helping app publishers maximize their revenue through different streams, both in-app purchases and ad monetization as well as user acquisition. It's great to have sort of a holistic approach to things.
And at the same time, brand safety, right?
Oh, definitely, 100%. Most of the service providers in terms of ad mediation already provide that as a baseline.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an absolute must if you want to kind of compete in this market, making sure that your brand is safe. I think that brand safety obviously is an expectation setting from every player, regardless if they're big or small in the market, and it's a must.
And it's going to be even more so in the coming years because of the legislative changes and more restrictions on user data and safety. It's definitely going to be a challenge on the one hand, but also it's better for the end user to have that sort of layer of protection when using an app.
But most of the players I talk to in the US market, at least, they are already using Scan 4.0 for iOS. And also, they seem to be also kind of prepared right now for Google Sandbox and kind of the launch there, even though it got postponed. So it seems they really take care of that.
Yeah, it's only natural.
Yeah, and obviously moving to more cohort data instead of individual data. I think that this is obviously also something that we are going to see and that many of the players have already adopted in the market.
100%. I think AI is going to play a big role here as well because of the contextualized ads based on the user experience and user behavior within the app that's going to be generated in real time, which is going to lay off a little bit of the data that's being used and more let's say, taking it on a broader scale. Manfred, what are some of the most effective user acquisition strategies from your standpoint?
Well, also from the conversations with the guys at MAU, a broadly targeted meta campaign is not cutting it anymore. But I think that this is not really a surprise for many of us in the industry. I mean, right now, they talked a lot about TikTok. They talked a lot about influencer marketing, of course, right now. Video still seems to be king. Obviously, the formats have become much shorter because of the attention span.
Yeah.
However, it is really right now multi-channel and going very much into influencer marketing / TikToks. But however, making sure that the user acquisition is on and really successful, retargeting, remarketing is still a big topic for them, and really splitting their marketing efforts throughout different channels. That's kind of absolutely important for them, and different formats, of course. But obviously, audiovisual is performing better right now than static. So the move is very clear that they're moving into this direction, and obviously AI is also helping here very much.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the new ad formats, right? Also for user acquisition, like CTV is on the rise. And I think-
CTV is on the rise, yes, and the guys are obviously using right now the bigger screen also in building the engagement, and obviously it's a second monitor, and you can basically use your phone to download the app. And CPIs are great right now on CTV. A lot of people that are developing that right now, a lot of companies, and that's also something that we are obviously very much interested in, that we're also building at the very moment. So
100%.
no, it's a very cool format. I'm actually quite excited about that. Maria, how can apps actually manage fill rates and CPMs without degrading the user experience?
Well, I think you got to opt for ad formats that don't really interrupt user experience or influence on it that much. And by the looks of it, it's rewarded ads and playable ads. Those actually yield the best CPMs today and seem to be very favored by the users. Also, I think dynamic mediation is the way to go, because from the statistics, it does raise CPMs by 13% without degrading the quality of the user experience. And actually, for 60% of the audience, it seems to not leave an impact on their lifetime value.
Maria, what's your advice for US publishers starting out?
I say invest early in hybrid monetization, leverage mediation services, and invest in scan-friendly user acquisition flows. I think that's the best starting point from the ground up.
So, Maria, we're coming to an end of our mega interesting talk. Kind of your last recommendation for app monetization strategies.
I say being nimble and adopting new AI tools as soon as they come out. And probably most importantly, never stopping testing new ad formats, new formats of monetization, because that's the driving factor of growth, is staying nimble, staying agile, and adapting to the new circumstances.
Yes, and definitely also trying out new markets, right? It's
Absolutely.
not only tier one, but also other markets that are emerging right now, where we have the opportunity for double-digit growth. So staying curious and going global.
100% agreed. Manfred, where do publishers, where can they get to know about our company?
Check out our website, yango-ads.com. Follow our blog post. You can also engage with us on LinkedIn and also on X. And check out our podcast, Points of Growth, if you are interested in more conversations about the ad world and AdTech.